Bonjour, ici Debbie Gibson. Vous écoutez Music Plus en stereo. That I always put everything aside for, and I did that from, age 4 and 5. I never really woke up and said, this is what I want to do. It's just always what I did. It was always part of my life.
Printemps 87, la maison de disques Atlantic lance Only in My Dreams, le premier 45 tours de Deborah Gibson, une adolescente de 16 ans qui a l'étoffe d'une star.
At one point, I was about 14, and I was offered a song to do by another writer, and basically I turned it down. I said I want to develop my own material and wait, because writing means as much to me as singing, and I said I really want to hold off and wait. And but once the record company listened to, they knew I didn't have just one song. They listened to 50 songs or whatever. They basically first they decided to release a 12-inch single that was Only in My Dreams, and then they said depending on how that does, we'll release a 7-inch to radio and all. And depending on how that does, we'll record the album. So I kind of proved myself, and they were great about letting me do my own material.
Avec Out of the Blue, son premier micro-sillon, Debbie se voit rapidement considérée comme une enfant prodige. Elle compose toutes ses chansons, paroles et musique. Des chansons qui reflètent les préoccupations des jeunes de sa génération.
Exactly, because I think that kids relate to other kids better than they relate to anybody else. I'm tuned into what kids think about, and there wasn't anybody out like that at the time. So I said, hey, and I was convinced that kind of that bubblegum, fun pop music was coming back, and I'm not embarrassed to admit that that's what kind of music I like. I want my music to be a statement, not a look, because a lot of people kind of, I think Madonna's great, but I think that sometimes people don't realize her talent because her image kind of upstages that. And, I don't want people to come to my concert to see what I'm going to wear. I want them to come to listen to the music.
Quelques mois après sa parution, les ventes de Out of the Blue dépassent le million, mais Debbie Gibson n'est pas un phénomène unique. À 16 ans, Tiffany chante dans les centres d'achat.
I think that the writing is what sustains an artist. Because I know that if I was just singing, I'd know that if suddenly I was getting bad material. If I was depending on other people for material and all the material I was receiving was bad, I wouldn't have any more career. So I think that there are certain singers out there though that really know how to interpret songs and really have a knack for choosing hit material that will be around for a long time. I think that if you sing, that's great. Use what you have to its fullest potential. But I think that it's more of like a.
You gotta believe in what you're saying too.
Yeah.
Is there a favorite song on this album of yours, Debbie?
That's a tough one. Let's see. Foolish Beat is, I guess, kind of personal to me because it's the one I produced on my own, and and Out of the Blue also.
Most of us don't have the opportunity to sort of realize our dreams so early in life. And this, I imagine, was a major dream that you have had for yourself. Is it what you thought it would be, or are you sort of like, I'm not sure?
No, it definitely is, because, it's a lot of work and a lot of fun. And I think that if in order to have a lot of fun, you have to put in a lot of work.
Yeah.
But, it makes it all worth it. It would be easier, I guess, to write my songs and stay home and keep them to myself, but it's so worth it when I do a show and there are like 5,000 kids singing along, and and when I know that at home 2 million people have the album, and I remember writing the song at 2 a.m. in my bedroom or whatever. It's just exciting. Really, my career started way before, and everyone really knew about it. I was taking piano from age 5 and voice from about age 9. Yeah, so my parents were the first to support that fully. And yeah, well, the studio, with the money I'd saved from doing commercials, because I wasn't the type of kid that, went out and just blew the money. I always said I'm saving it for college, or I'm saving it for whatever, saving it for a car someday, I can't drive yet. And, so with a combination of that and family money, we put it together. And, because my parents believe that if you have kids that show, that they have a lot of ambition and talent, all they really need are the right tools. And without that, how do you know what they can do? It's like
my philosophy is that you go around once in life, and you should have an opportunity to do what you truly love to do. And my husband and I both truly believed that, and we backed her 100%. You know, she knew that if she got up and she tried, if she fell on her face, it just didn't matter. You know, as far as we were concerned, it just didn't matter. We would be there to help her no matter what. And very fortunately, she's a tremendously gifted, you know, young woman, and she's got the ambition and the drive. You know, she's been very motivated, willing to put in all the work, you know, and, you know, how could you turn your back on that? You can't. I've seen children where their parents don't acknowledge the talent, and they're very talented, and it just goes by the wayside. And, you know, I just couldn't see that for her.
I think that if, especially as being a writer, you know, I mean, as I'm writing songs, I have so many ideas in my head, like, oh, I'd love to hear a sax solo here, and the strings come in here, and I said, hey, why not just do it myself? It's just really knowing what you want, producing.